Hello, Katya. Hello, all. I'm today with Katya, who's the co-founder and chief commercial officer from DelivApp, based in Israel. Welcome to talk here.
Hi, JJ. Happy to be here and thanks for having me.
So, as always, we go straight to the point. Tell us a bit who you are, what's your background, how you got here, and what you do now.
Wow, that's a lot of questions in one. So, I'm a co-founder of DelivApp. Prior to that, I was an immigrant to Israel. I'm originally Russian. In Russia, I used to be a journalist. And then I lived in the UK, I lived in the US. And then eventually I met my husband. He's an American and also Jewish. So we made the Aliyah to Israel. And I've been living in Israel for the past 10 years. In Israel, I stopped being a journalist and started to work in high tech and in marketing. And eventually, I just evolved from a marketing person into a person who's doing lots of business stuff. And now I'm a co-founder of a startup of a tech company, DelivApp.
Did you do delivery before?
No, but before DelivApp, I worked in a mobility, in a shared mobility company called GoTo, and we used to rent out cars and scooters and bicycles with operations in Israel, in Spain, in Malta, I think later in Germany. And when I entered logistics or delivery, I thought it's basically the same thing, like you move people and then you move food, like what difference does it make? Turned out there's a lot of difference. Turned out I'm not in the logistics or delivery industry. I'm in the restaurant industry now, which is a completely different world. But yeah, like we can say that I was sort of like near the industry before.
I think there's some. I mean, I think we from the delivery side. So I come more from a delivery background. We see mobility as look, instead of moving food or packages, you move vehicles. Then you realize it's not the same, right? But at least you have the background and the backbone to understand how things work, because it's very specific. Logistics is specific, and it's as it takes a toll to understand. But let's then jump into DelivApp. What's DelivApp?
Yeah, DelivApp is SaaS platform for on-demand deliveries, but with time, we started out as a platform for on-demand deliveries only, meaning that an order comes into a restaurant, our system accepts this order, and then it helps for this order to be delivered with a driver of a restaurant or a third-party company. And, if there are several orders that all come in at the same time, the system can think about the best way to bundle those orders and then dispatch those orders to the best suited drivers. Like this is how we started, but then based on the client's requests, the system started to evolve, and we started to evolve into a system that serves more use cases of the existing customers. For example, we added a product that's essentially a white label marketplace for those brands who want to own their ordering channel. Then we added a loyalty program. Then we added an ability to receive orders from multiple sources. This is like orders integration. And then on the delivery side, we added an ability to dispatch an order with a number of fleets based on the customer's choice or some rules that they have on the system. And basically, how we call it, like from screen to mouth, we power a journey of a food order. Like an on-demand order is usually the food order still.
I want to ask you why you started to expand, but before that, since some people are not super familiar with delivery, people think that why do you need that? People order in Uber Eats or Glovo or Deliveroo or Volt or Foodpanda or Grab. Kind of why do some restaurants need that?
Right. This is a great question. And it's some restaurants are also wondering that why would they need their own channels? Thing is this, all those platforms, delivery platforms, they're fantastic and they provide fantastic experience for a consumer. It's very intuitive, it's easy to order, there are large discounts, and then the food arrives most of the time quite quickly. The problems begin on the restaurant side when restaurants start doing math, and what they understand is that they have to pay a commission. Usually it's about ranging from 20 to 30% for each order. And it doesn't matter that JJ orders from the same restaurant on Uber every day, right? Every day that you would be treated as a new customer. Restaurant's not going to get any discounts for your orders, and every day is going to be commission paid from your orders, right? So restaurants realize that not only they're paying a high price for this fantastic service, all right, but they're also losing an ability to connect with a customer who is loyal to them, who loves their brand, and who wants to purchase again and again and again. And in a normal scenario, like your purchases should be free already for the restaurant if they owned your data, if they had a direct connection with you. So what are the big brands started already to understand is that it's good to work with the platforms, but you should not be dependent exclusively on the platforms. You should have your own channels, and if you're smart, you should be able to convert those customers that come to you through the platforms and discover you through the platforms to the customers who order from your channel. And in this case, it makes all the sense to work with platforms, but also have your own channel. So it's a long-term play, right? It may be difficult and expensive to start a project where you start like your own ordering channel. You have to invest, and then you have to market it. But then think about it, like those customers stay with you for life, right? You have their phone, you know what they order, what they like, where they live, and there's so much you can do with it. So this is the rationale
you mentioned big brands. You mentioned big brands, and I think that's something I want to ask you about because as you know, I work for Foodpanda, which is one of the biggest food delivery platforms in Asia. And I think the main value of this platform aggregators is that you can discover, right? You can discover hundreds or even thousands of restaurants, right? So I think if you're a big brand, I don't need to discover you. I know you, right? And we don't need to mention the big restaurant brands. But if you are pizza in the corner, I cannot discover you, right? So I think Foodpanda is actually giving you some awareness that otherwise I think it's gonna be very hard, right? So do you think your model works better with big brands than with small brands? Because the challenge I would bring or even ask you is if I'm a big brand and I use your setup and I have the pizzainthecorner.com domain where people can come to order, how do I bring clients there, right? Instead, if I'm a very big brand, people know me, it's very easy to bring people to my app or to my website, right? How do you see that?
Right. So with the big brands, we consider this problem solved, right? They know how to market, they know how to generate traffic to their own channel. With the smaller brands, what we're seeing here, at least in Israel, we have a very successful use case of a local marketplace. What's a local marketplace? We have someone who launched a franchising business in a small city. Wolt, the subsidiary of DoorDash operating in Israel, is not present in those small cities, or not in all of them. So there is a room for a local marketplace. What they did, they went to those corner pizza or kebab restaurants and they said, guys, you want to be on our marketplace? Come. And they came, and the model there works slightly different in the sense of how we sell the technology. We don't sell a technology for ordering to a small local restaurant because it's not necessarily, viable for them to maintain a website or an app. It's not necessarily a good thing, but they have to be somewhere online. They have to have a page online. And here we think that a local marketplace is a very good solution. So this guy who's running the marketplace, he's a local entrepreneur. He started the first company, sold it. Now he's developing this franchise model, right? He has a brand, and in different cities, this marketplace is run by different delivery companies, or it can be even several local restaurants coming together joining forces, and then they understand that it's cheaper for them like to share the fleet, and the commission are not that huge, and not as in, if it's like Uber or World Commission, and it becomes a very nice local business with a local feel, and it's about like just supporting local business. So for us, like there is no contradiction or competition, and also we think about the platforms as of partners, and in some cases the solution that we provide converts our customer into this like small platform, and it's not necessarily bad.
When actually that takes me, as you're talking about locally things, specifically in Israel, it takes me to the point that in university or in any business class, you always hear that you all need to do market research and understand your country and the dynamics and so on to know if your product will work or not. I used to think that's a bit, yeah, not, let's say, stupid, right? Especially because I grew up seeing Rocket Internet just getting US models and bringing them to Asia, right? And that was the strategy. And then I thought, when I started Cosmo, I thought, oh, that works here. I'm going to do it here and it's going to work. And then I tried Cosmo in 3 countries initially. And then I saw that in one country it worked and in another country it worked way less because of market dynamics. So, how are market dynamics impacting the adoption of own channels in your industry? Does the country or the cultural dynamics impact a lot if your
Yeah.
business is going to work?
Yeah, so let's divide this question into several questions, or rather the answers. So, thing is, like, what's common between shared mobility and logistics delivery business is like those types of businesses get out from the computer into the streets, right? So you're not dealing with a software program that runs on the computer. You're dealing with a software program that has to enable a physical process, right? Someone somewhere has to sit on their scooter, come to a restaurant, find a door, pick up the order, bring it to a customer. And it's very, very complex because there's traffic, because there are accidents on the road. Like so many things happen. And like, how do you route those people, right? So this is where complexities begin. And just because of that, you cannot copy paste what you do from one country to another, whether you're in the shared mobility or in the delivery business. In some cases, this miraculously may work, but in most of the cases, you have to work hard because of the map, because of the addresses, even like how people enter the addresses, right? In some places, it's like a zip code, as in UK. In some cases, the number is before the street name. In some cases, the street name and then the number, and it all gives back the different results. So this is for one. Another thing, the business is complex because it touches many entities, right? The delivery business touches a consumer, it touches a driver who can be a gig worker or an employed worker, it touches a restaurant, and there are a lot of regulations that are starting to come up, and then there's a relationship between a platform and the restaurant. So what we found out is that in Israel, like things work in a certain way, and then there are countries that like where things work similarly, but then there are a lot of countries where things work very differently. I can give an example of the UK, which we thought would be a great market for us. And we got interested, started talking to people, and then what we found out that in the UK, restaurants traditionally raise prices for their menus on the platform, right? And when in Israel, they're losing those 30% that they pay to the platform as a commission fee. In the UK, they're kind of like not really losing those money. And when I was doing the research, I wasn't yet able to understand it because that was something I couldn't even imagine, right? It was just completely out of my blind spot, right? I had no idea this could be a case. And then I look at the websites of large restaurants in the UK. What I see there, okay, they have a wonderful website. It's a strong brand with their own website. What they offer on the website, they offer to purchase takeaway. So a person creates an online order and then comes to a restaurant, and then they offer a delivery. But for delivery, they send you to a Deliveroo, for example. And I was like, what? Why is that happening? Why would someone voluntarily like send a customer who came to their website and to a platform to which they're going to later pay for that customer. And then I started to talk to people who work in the market in the UK, former employees of Deliveroo and other platforms, and they just told me that what happens, platforms do not penalize restaurants who are raising prices for the menu on the platform, so they're not really losing money on delivery orders, so they're not motivated to, change that. And they even have the technologies that they use to power their websites and takeaway orders. They have the module for delivery. They're just not interested in, doing anything about it. So yeah, there's, like, answering your question, a huge difference between the countries. And for us, the challenge now and what we're working on now is like locating the markets which are similar to the Israeli market, where we have a lot, like, very good traction and very good adoption rates, and entering those markets. We have customers here and there in Europe, but we're trying to find a market that would be a good fit for us. And because we're not a venture funded company, we have to basically be very careful with where we invest. So we do a lot of research now.
I think it's good that you did the research. It saves you quite some money on launching a market and realizing later. I would have not done the research, launch the market, lose some money, and then learn it. So that's a flaw I have. But now that you say that you're not venture backed, let's talk about that. How, and I think I want to link that to what you said at the beginning, that you started solving the delivery piece, but then you slowly build the ordering and different components on the problem. How can you build a SaaS tech business that requires quite some technology without being venture backed? How are you growing, and how did you start especially?
Yeah, so we're very fortunate as a company because we have technical co-founders who are very much hands-on, and we are very lean. And delivery management is a very complex system. As a system, it's hard to build. It requires a very versatile experience. You need, like, different types of qualifications from an engineer, and we have it in the core founding team. And the founding team, I was not there on the day one, but the founding team who was there, they're all technical business, but more technical people. And I think thanks to that, the system is operated with a very little technical resource, little but enough technical resource, and we are able to afford to grow with our own money, just because, like, everybody works. We don't have a person who's not.
You signed big customers also at the beginning that could finance that team expenses, I guess.
In the beginning, basically what happened, there were our CEO and co-founder. He's a tech person, like, he's from the tech world, but at some point he's also a foodie. At some point he invested in a restaurant, and then so happened that from an investor he had to turn into a manager or part-time manager. And when he got into the business, he was like, wow, how's those, like, deliveries are even working? Like, why do I have to call people? It was like quite a long time ago. And he saw an opportunity, and he started to, with his colleagues and friends, he started to develop the system that would solve this delivery problem. And they signed a couple of first customers. Then, like, some personal things happened, and the system was just maintained but not developed for some time. And then during during COVID, things started to boom on those, like, I don't remember, 5 or 6 customers that we had. And this is where I joined, because we met, and I was all, like, occupied by delivery at the time, because we didn't have any use cases for fleet that that my company managed. So, like, I was thinking delivery, and we met with the team, and they were just a fantastic team with a working product with existing customers. Everything was growing. So on that wave, we signed more customers, and that was a good start for us. And also, like, in the very beginning, they raised there is about, like, $200,000 to start, and then there was, like, a developer studio on the side that helped to finance the the project, and from now on, just things developed. And now we have several customers that are like we have a lot of customers now, and like some of them are like quite large. So together with them, we develop solutions that they need and that help us
Okay.
expand the system.
So I think it's fair to say that COVID was the biggest growth strategy for delivery companies ever, and I missed it because I started after this.
Okay. What were you thinking about when you started?
Well, I didn't think about any of that basically, right? But now I see that all the all the companies that are doing decent or well in delivery, they started before COVID, so they could get the COVID wave, right? When everyone needed the
And
pump.
then, but what happened to you? Did you see that? Did you realize that the use case for delivery is shrinking?
No, in
No.
my case, I was just basically working in delivery for super long, and I just got a bit done of working for a company, and I just wanted to build something in 2022, right? So maybe COVID had an impact on me wanting to do something new, but COVID, I think, in my research had nothing to do, to be honest. Yeah.
Right.
As I said before, I don't do research much. Yeah, I just do things. So yeah, not so sophisticated.
No, it's also not bad. It's
Yeah.
just like if you can afford it or not. Like
Yeah.
we realize that we cannot just start doing things. We need to research. And by research, I mean it's just
Yeah.
like your research in the office, but then also I talk to people a lot, and then this helps.
Yeah. So just to finish, Katya, you said you're a small team of in tech. You built. I know how hard the delivery. Look, it's not building a rocket to go to the moon, but within SaaS, it's complex because, as you said, there's many. You need you need apps, you need front end, you need back end, you need notifications, you need well, you need different kind of technologies combined. How many people do you have in tech?
In technology, we have, I tell you, we have 4 co-founders that are quite technical and all contribute to the code, except for myself. I don't contribute to the code. We also have about 8 people team that's offshore, and depending on a feature that we're developing, we utilize more or less of their time. So this is a pretty small team.
DoorDash might have 1,000 engineers only in logistics, so I think that's quite impressive.
No, like listen, like the system that we have is fantastic. Whenever we have a customer who dealt like with logistics before, with the restaurants logistics before, they're like, wow, and they ask, can I do this? And I'm like, yes, you can, and this, and yes, you can, and this, like we can do a lot. But I have to say, it's not just like like the talent that we have inside the team. It's also us being Israelis, because like delivery is a very sensitive business, right? People deliver food not like ahead of time. They deliver food when they start feeling hungry.
Yeah.
And then every additional minute that you make them wait makes them more and more irritated. So that's true for every person. In Asia, a person just picks up a phone and they start yelling at you, right? And then they yell at your customer, and then your customer delivery company or restaurant yells at you. And this is a very good, motivation to develop a solution that works, and that works well because no one loves being yelled at.
I think when I was at Foodpanda, we looked at this metric actually, reorder rate, so the percentage of customers that come back within 30 days, based on the delivery time, and we saw that every minute in delivery time decreased the reorder rate a bit. I don't remember exactly how much, right? But so the difference between 25 minutes delivery time and 35 could be 10% points in reorder rate. So it's actually super important together with pricing and a good menu and so on. But delivery, people tend to forget because you think you just need to move something from A to B, but how you deliver it, how fast you deliver it, and so on matters a lot to the business basically. Because if you have a bad experience, this customer will not come back, lost.
Yeah. It could be market dependent, actually.
Yeah,
I have
for
to
sure.
tell you, like, there are markets where people are able to be like strategic about their food ordering, and then they allocate some time for waiting, and then they're more like less sensitive to additional waiting time. And like there are other countries where people just like don't plan ahead, they order, and they want the food now.
Yeah, and also like in Asia, on average, we delivered in 22 minutes. I know that in Europe, for example, in Germany or Spain, that those are the countries I know the most, delivery tends to be on average above 30 minutes. I think that's because of labor laws that make it a bit harder to
Yeah.
employ drivers and so on. But yeah, every country has its own set of challenges and shifts. Yeah.
But maybe I could ask you
Yeah.
in the end, how are things going with Cosmos? So you mentioned that you started in 2022, and now we're in 2024. So like, what's your feeling about the general direction
So
and
we're
the
2 years.
plans?
We spent the first one and a half building something which was basically we were an API or a platform that connected you to third-party delivery to deliver. That worked, but didn't fly. So we just kept it as a base. And from there, some of the customers we had asked us, "Hey, can you build the product for me to add my internal fleet to Cosmo?" That was last summer. We launched that in August, and that's going very well. So I think we launched in August, and now we can say we have product market fit. We grow every month at double digits, and it's going very well. Now basically the next step is, can we grow faster, right? We took a bit of a strategy of not focusing on one market. So our main markets were Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, but now we have customers in Netherlands, Spain, Germany, Italy, also Mexico, US, right? Because the way we sell is basically LinkedIn, content marketing, and just getting inbounds. So quite happy. I think now the next step is, can we grow faster, basically.
Nice.
I think we can. We just need to figure out what are the right levers. Good thing is we have product market fit, which removes a big weight from your backpack. So yeah, quite happy, to be honest.
Right. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
No, I think I think it's interesting. Your product does look very nice. You publish a lot of videos on LinkedIn. So yeah, it seems as it should be a fit for many markets.
Let's hope we can make it work. Katya, let's leave it here. Thanks a lot for your time and for sharing the insights. Hopefully it can be very helpful to people in delivery and not so into delivery people. And catch up soon.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.